Con Devon Rodriguez en el Especialito. Bienvenido, estamos muy emocionados por tenerte aquí, que ha tenido una historia increíble de evolución, de crecimiento y de inspirar a la comunidad latina y en general los neoyorquinos.
Sí, muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
All right, well, my first question is, I've been following you for years, so I know your story, and you know, to me it's very special. I've connected with that, and I would like, from your own point of view, basically your evolution from the last couple of years. You started, you know, on subways. You know, the story is just very beautiful. So I would like for you to tell our readers and our followers how it all came about and where you are now.
Thank you. So my whole life I just loved to draw. This is all I ever cared about. You know, I was never into sports. Like my brother used to love baseball and basketball, and I would just be drawing, and it was all I ever wanted to do. So and I knew my dad was an artist, but he left when I was 3. So I just always had him in the back of my head, wow, he was such a, you know, because my mom used to show me tattoo magazines of him, his work, and I'm like, wow, my dad is famous, where is he? I always wanted to know him. Anyway, but I always pursued art on my own, and then I went to art and design high school in Manhattan. And you know, my grandma used to take us to Manhattan sometimes, but only once a year, because she'd be oh, muy caro por ahí, you know, los hot dogs valen mucho, we can't. And so I used to, so I used to be damn, I want to go there, because people look like they were happy and stuff. And but you know, I was in the Bronx, in the hood, and anyway, so now that I'm going to Midtown for art school, I'm wow, this is amazing. Now I'm hanging out in Central Park, you know, and it was just fun. And then I went to FIT for a year, but then I was I'm just gonna pursue art on social media, because I started to get a few portrait commissions, and I was I'm not gonna finish school. I'd rather do it for the money versus a grade. So I just left. And my grandma was mijo, ¿por qué? Necesita el colegio. And I was no, I don't. Tengo Instagram. And she's ¿cómo que Instagram? Eso no, and I'm trust me. So that was 2015, and she trusted me. So for 5 years, I'm living with her. She's let's see this art thing. She's feeding me, always don't worry, you could live here forever. And then 2020, during the pandemic, I started posting, you know, the videos on TikTok, me drawing people on the subway, and then from there, it just went up and up and up. Yeah, it just took off, yeah.
Why don't you explain a little bit about how you took your struggles and really turned them into something so positive, when many in your position may have been tempted to go down maybe a darker path?
I always felt so lucky, because I had a lot of friends. I went to this middle school, MS 343, and I had a lot of friends that were in gangs, and you know, just involved with some of the darkest things that happened, just growing up in the hood in a impoverished inner city neighborhood. But for some reason I always wanted to do good, and it was this natural thing that I'm just gonna focus on my art, and then just remain positive. And my grandma was always a very religious saint. She's always visiting. Every week she's in a new funeral for people that she doesn't even know, in the Bronx. You gotta pay your respects, going to visiting the sick. So she always instilled this kind of thing in me. And so once I started making content, you know, people would you know, sort of love it and think wow, he's so positive. But I'm just being myself, but now there's a camera on me, you know, so yeah.
Well, that's what social media is about, often just being yourself and sharing who you are with the world.
Awesome. Well, we're talking a lot about New York and you know, just your upbringing. You know, you travel a lot now, though.
Yeah.
Right. So, what makes New York particularly so special? Because it feels you have this deep connection. Obviously, you were raised there, and I was born in Queens. I know exactly those feelings,
for sure.
and the exposure to all the bad. But what is it about New York that keeps you there and you love?
I don't know. I just love it. Like, I was born and raised here, and I've been traveling the world lately, but people always ask me, like, is there a place that you would want to move to? And I'm like, no, not even for a second. Like, I love New York. Like, it has everything here, and it's just so, I don't know, just inspirational. And I see why everybody, like, wants to live here, because it's just, like, magic. But, yeah, I love New York, and I love the Bronx, and I love how who it shaped me to be, like, you get to see the good, the bad, the dark, the ugly, just everything in one place,
Yeah, and it brings about some talented people like yourself, so that's great. Yeah,
there really is nothing like it. Explain your process for creating a new portrait, like on the spot right there. Like, how does it make you feel when you're getting to know someone out of nowhere and then you're drawing them?
It feels great. Like, I've always loved to draw all kinds of different people. And, one of my teachers in the Bronx, his name is Mr. Harper, he used to always tell me, like, to get on the subway, because, New York has, like, a whole diverse, like,
characters,
all kinds of characters. So, like, to get good, you got to practice, like, different faces, different noses, eyes. So I just always love drawing people. And then now with my new series where I interview people, I always wonder, like, I wonder what's, like, the story behind that person's life. So I was like, you know what, I should make it into video content and, like, just find out their story while I'm drawing them, and so it could, like, the drawing evolves at the same time as the story, and I thought it would be good. And then I'm glad I had that idea, because, like, the subway thing, like, sometimes people will say, like, siempre lo mismo, like, I got otra cosa nuevo, like, doing something. So I was like, I'm glad I came up with a new concept.
Yeah. That's great. I'm a huge fan of those videos, and some of the stories, I mean, I can't help but cry when I watch some of them.
Yeah, me too. Even when I watch them back, some of them make me cry. I'm like, damn, they're, like, really deep.
Yeah. So that's great. I mean, fun on social media, all of that, but it's nice to see something real and vulnerable. So that's really special to us here as well. So now, in terms of the popularity, you've gotten, skyrocketed over the past couple of years, specifically, on social media. You're out there, but people recognize you on the street, right? And they stop you and all over the world, right?
Yeah.
Was there a moment when you realized, oh my God, my life has changed immensely, becoming this world-renowned, sought-after artist? When did you realize, oh my God, my life is never going to be the same?
So it started going like some days I'll tell, like, my friends or, like, my grandma, like, yo, I get, like, recognized, like, once a day now. Like, it's kind of crazy. And then it, like, turns to twice a day, and then 3 times. And I'm like, abuela, ni puedo salir, like, un bloque sin alguien, like, oh my God, una foto, like, it's crazy. But so kind of, like, when it happens more and more often, and also, like, when I went to Japan, like, so many people, like, came and they were, like, surrounding me, and they're like, oh my God, Devon, you're our idol. And I'm like, how? Like, from Mount Haven in the Bronx to Tokyo is crazy. And I just knew, like, because I wasn't sure. I was like, people recognize me in New York, but Tokyo, it took 14 hours on the plane. Like, I don't know if people follow me there. And it was just crazy. And I was like, wow. Even, like, in Thailand and Colombia, I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. I saw you went to Cartagena. You really enjoyed yourself there.
So nice.
Nice. Awesome.
That's awesome. So what makes you decide who you're going to draw for your portraits? Like, what qualities inspire you? Because, of course, you get a lot of muses throughout the day, and sometimes it's at random. So what kind of qualities you say, I want to draw that person?
It's always different. Like, sometimes, like, somebody looks really unique and, like, special. Like, their fashion is, like, and it like calls to me, like, wow, that person looks cool. Or sometimes people have, like, all these face tattoos, and I'll be like, oh, I wonder what his life is like. And then or, like, sometimes it's just, I try to get, like, diversity. So just I try to do, like, anyone and everyone, and try to do, like, different age ranges and stuff. Yeah,
it's good to connect with people of all ages.
Because then you get to, like, see all types of different perspectives
and stories. Like, imagine some of those, like, older people have these very amazing life stories. Then you get a unique young perspective as well. So
treasure trove of stories, and that's going to happen in New York anyway.
Oh yeah.
This goodness, it's fountain of personalities.
Yeah, I used to do that too. Just walk on the street.
Yeah.
Like, and be like, I wonder what that person's story is. Like, I would start coming up with the story in my head, like writing it in my head. And I'm like, maybe I should just ask them next time.
Because people like to
Really weird,
connect.
random, but yeah.
I mean, New Yorkers, I know they say New Yorkers are a little like unfriendly, but they're really not.
No.
I think
Yeah.
they're just, it's all about community and just, I don't know, especially a friendly face like yours. I mean, I would definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, you can pay me.
Can't say no to you.
Of course, yeah.
Look me
yeah.
up. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but one of the things I noticed, you always ask people, or you often ask people, what's one of your biggest dreams in life, right? I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we all dream. It seems right now like you're living your dreams, but is there one big dream, or what is it that you've yet to achieve?
I don't really know because I always, whenever people ask me like, oh, what's coming up next for you, like what's your dreams, I'm like, I'm not even supposed to be here, so like already like kind of past this, so like whatever comes next, I'm like grateful for it, because like 2 weeks ago I did an interview with Oprah Winfrey. Where,
I know.
like imagine me like interviewing Oprah Winfrey, like it's crazy. Or like I met the
Wow.
president,
I know.
and so it's like I'm not
It's
like
surreal.
somehow, yeah, it's so surreal somehow. Like, you know, I didn't think I would be like, I never got on the plane until I was like 17, because I got like a scholarship to this art program in Arizona. So I never even knew people getting on planes. Like I grew up like poor, and now like I'm going all around the world. So this is all like, and I see like the people that I grew up with, and like my life is so different. So it's like, I don't know. I'm still gonna continue, of course, and I'm ambitious. But whatever comes to me comes, you know.
Yeah,
Living
just
it one
living
step
the
at a
moment.
time.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, I don't know. Like sometimes I'm like, maybe I'm too like young to be living this life. Like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's
Has nothing to
crazy.
do with age. It has to do with what's in here, you know,
Yeah.
talent.
It's well deserved, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
And you've achieved so much. So not talking about dreams, I guess, particularly, but you've done so much, from like global tours to like a book release to sponsorships, social media, now a new studio in Kips Bay. So what projects are you currently working on right now that you'd like to share? What's next for you? Not quite in the dream state.
realm,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Dream realm, but literally.
Yeah. So now I'm like working on these like watercolor prints that I do like all over the world, and just like traveling to as many places as I can, because you know, like when I'm speaking to people in Japan or Colombia or Thailand, I'm seeing things that are like so different from like my bubble of life.
You learn so much.
Yeah, you learn so much, and it's like you just like when you grow up in New York, you think New York is the only thing, and then you realize this, and I feel like I'm living and learning like in public, and anyway, so it's just like discovering different cultures, and also like making these, I do like these limited edition prints all over the world, and yeah, so just so that I can have my art in like everyone's homes, because like people order them and they send me pictures. So now I have like, when I go to Japan and I make these watercolors, people have it in like every part of the world, and I get these emails, and anyway, so that's what I'm currently working on.
That must be such a cool feeling too. Like
Yeah, it's
feeling like there's a
crazy.
piece of you in every part of the world.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like I'll get pictures like, look, I hung, and then you could see like they're like in some traditional Japanese home, and they have like my work, or like sometimes it's like a home that's like, you know, like in the hood, or like a home that's like in Colombia, or like in just different parts of the world, or like in Europe, like, and then you can see the Eiffel Tower in the window, and my art is there, and I'm like, wow, that's so many diverse,
Wow.
yeah, so many diverse places.
That's incredible.
Your art
Thank you.
transcends, so that's beautiful. It
Yeah,
connects
that's
everybody.
what art is about.
Yeah.
Reaching as many people as possible in a positive way, I feel.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we don't really have any more
No.
actual questions, but I would actually like to ask about your grandma and what
Oh,
she's
yeah, of
doing,
course,
what she's
yeah.
up to, because I imagine you've seen our yellow boxes all over the place.
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
we're a staple. We've been around for almost 40 years, and you know, does she read the newspaper?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I always saw them like on the table in my house. Yeah, yeah, of course. That's how I know of it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
Maybe I should call her. See if she picks up. Oh, she picked up. Hola. Hola, ¿usted lee el Especialito?
A veces sí, por la receta que trae ahí.
Oh, sí. Mira, te quieren tomar una foto.
Ahí. Mirando acá. Eso es. Gracias.
No, es que
Estamos entrevistando.
estoy con ellos y me preguntaron si usted lo lee.
Sí, sí, me gustan las recomendaciones que dan para una buena alimentación, que son bien provechosas. Sí, lo veo así.
Ay, qué bueno, me alegro mucho. Mucho gusto conocerla.
Ok, igualmente, gracias. Siempre haciendo trampa este mundo.
Well, every time I put her in an interview, she gets so nervous. ¿Verdad que te pone tan nerviosa?
No estamos en vivo, está bien, podemos editar.
Esto es behind the scenes, como dice.
Alright, te llamo después. Bye.
Ok, papá.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. So cute.
Mirando acá. Sí, mirando acá. Mirando acá.
¡Epa!
Machote.
Guapo.
Gracias.
Lindo.
De verdad que está muy bien.
Sí.
Igualito, igualito.
¿Viste qué lindo?
Felicidades.
Ok, vamos a tirar una foto con el grupo.